Alright, you're in for a real treat. So we've got a sawmill ran completely on wind power. I just watched a 10-minute video of building this, and it's one of the most interesting things I've ever seen in my life. So I haven't been inside yet. Here's all of the lumber that they've cut, but let's go inside and check it out. So this is where it all starts. So they would have brought the logs up here by raft or by boat or barge, and then this is where they came into the mill. And actually use the wind power on a winch, which you'll see here in a minute, to drag them in there and across basically the blades. So this is where it would go in.
Beautiful place.
Oh, it's so mad beautiful. So the logs would come up the ramp here and into the, look at this.
Cody, look at this block.
Oh man.
Right? You can go through the way into that.
So I've been sitting here for a couple minutes or so, and the speed of how quickly the saw blades cut is constantly changing with the wind. It'll go down till it almost stops, and right now a gust picked up or the wind increased, and now it's cutting much faster. The entire mill is just vibrating under the power of the cutting arm. So as the crankshaft turns, so it's just like a crank, just like on a car engine. So you can see there. So that camshaft or that crankshaft changes these saws up and down. So I'm sorry, you said you resharpen every 200 meters?
50 meters.
Every 50 meters resharpen. One meter in 1 hour. So he's showing me right here, this is a pit saw. This is what they would have used before the windmill, before it was automated. And you were saying 1 meter per hour, two men. So right there, this is the way they would have had to have ripped lumber before. This would have been a kind of a pit saw. I've got one of these saws at home, and you can see the long handle on it. This would have been the guy on the top would have that, and the guy on the bottom would have been the junior man. I always thought it'd be opposite because it would be easier to pull, you know, like doing a pull-up all. Imagine doing that all day, and the sawdust in your face. It's just incredible. The workmanship of this place it's unbelievable. So this is really interesting. So you can see that these bars you saw in the previous section where they can put them anywhere on here with the rope. What they do is they twist that broomstick handle there to hold down the log, because if the log is crooked like this, they'll need to constantly be shifting the end of it. So the sawyer is watching this and making sure that the blades, if they get off the center, he can simply loosen that up, take a PV and pry that over or wedge it over, lock it back down, and continuing to make those adjustments so he's cutting straight through. That's so brilliant. So the thing that the feed system you have is so clever.
Yeah.
So it works in unity with the wind. So if the wind gets faster,
Yeah, now connected to salt rate.
so the wind is increased so much that they're going to have to change the pitch of the blade because these saw frames are starting to bounce, can't handle the speed. So he abruptly cut off our very interesting conversation to go up there and to see to this. So they've got they can cut 4 logs at a time depending on the wind. So because the wind is too fast, they have to go change they have to rotate the blades out of the wind. So this is, so I mean you can imagine, so this is wind driven. So it's going to operate, if the wind is blowing fast, it's going to operate fast. If it's going slow, it's going to operate slow. So the problem that would come up is how do you alter the feed of the log? How do you control how fast it goes into the blade? Because of course, if it's cutting faster, you can feed it faster, cutting slower, feeding slower. So what they devised is so brilliant. It's this Cog system, and each one of these teeth is a millimeter. And so you'll see here as he engages this, the speed of this carriage going up and down directly controls how fast the feed is. So slow wind, slow feed, fast wind, fast feed. And that way you don't have to worry about trying to, pushing the logs too quickly into the blades and ruining something. It is an elegant and brilliant design.
To build that.
2 years. So they...
You can see the crankshaft here.
The crankshaft, yeah. So here is the original plans that they found, and this mill was built. It took 2 years to build it. It's all brand new, but they used all the original schematics. You can see the crankshaft here. That is amazing. Where did they find the prints? So even though it was built recently, look at even the floor nails here are all handmade. So here's the portion that I think is one of the most clever things. Look how the feed mechanism works. Now this is controlling how fast the log is being fed into the blades. Get used to those shoes.
Not a long time.
Are they comfortable? You can wear them all day?
I wear them all day.
You do?
Not daily, but you can wear them all day.
And is each pair custom made?
No. It's all made by factory.
They are. And so...
I feel it's very light.
Oh, it is very light. And no rubber on the bottom? No problem with...
It's sometimes a little bit slippery.
So I learned something today. So before they cut their wood, they leave it in the water for, he said, a year, and the water apparently moves the sugars out of the wood, and so when they cut it, it's less likely to warp and twist once all of that's been washed out of it. I never knew that. That's why I have such a problem with mine that I cut from green.